Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Switch maps here so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. Don't want you to see what I've been doing to convert the demonstration map just yet. So, just playing around. I haven't got all the replication done yet, just getting some basic mechanics done. We've got our Cindy Studios character, and he's just playing, no air, no nothing just yet. And we have zombies. Well, we at least have one in here so far. And he roams around, so does our little dude in the tracksuit. They just kind of walk around, but there's like explodable stuff here. There's a propane cylinder, there is a small propane cylinder, a barrel, and for right now the shooting mechanics are just set up to work off of the first person view. And one of the things I did do is whenever you shoot an object that's just like an object, that's just not a person, then it plays an emitter at the location of where you hit. Well, okay. And why are you guys standing right there? I'm not trying to shoot you just yet. These guys are target dummies. They're actually just, well, they're actors. So they're going to get that same sprite effect whenever you hit them enough times, which is 4 times. They have 100 health, and bullets right now are doing 25 damage. They're only going to do like that. But if you shoot a character, you're going to get a blood effect. Not blood, blood. But since there's exploding barrels, yeah, so whenever they respawn, they just pop right back up again. But the exploding barrel does damage, and the propane tanks do damage, as you can see, and will damage anything that's nearby. Get out of my way. So same thing with the grenades. Right now, I've got set where it shows the number of grenades that you have, and you can only carry 5 grenades with you. But whenever you throw the grenades, I'll work on the mechanics a little bit of the throws and that kind of stuff. But see, boom, grenades work. They apply damage. So let's actually throw another one in here so we do enough damage. I need to raise the damage and fix it on there. And the radius, he was a little bit far away from that, but only had just a small amount of health. But as you can see, the grenades will not only cause damage and kill players and stuff, but will also explode the propane cylinders, which do a whole lot more damage. Yeah, stand next to that one. Be a good example for me. So, and oh, there you go. He didn't make it. So that's that. And if you run out of grenades, naturally you can't throw any more grenades. But then you walk over them, the temporary ones, and it increases your grenade count by 1. So it keeps a steady tally. And as you can see, the grenades are just a little bit above ground and they rotate. So I thought that was kind of a cool touch. So once you've replenished your grenades, now you can throw grenades again until you run out, and then you just don't have any more. Uh-oh, and it broke. How did it break? I have -1 grenades now. This has been working just fine, and I'm not going to fix that just yet, but whatever. So that's what I'm doing, is I am screwing with that stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and remove these cylinders. I know they work, I know they explode, I know they cause damage, and that kind of stuff. And we'll leave the grenade there, get rid of that. The way that they work, essentially, let's go ahead and save the map so that we just have that over there. And our Roman guys go into the gadgets, exploding barrel. The first thing we're going to do is, and I'm going to change this probably to where instead of running it off an event tick, it does the health check. I'm going to go ahead and just off event any damage, and I'll probably go ahead and just set it up to where it'll ask if the health is equal to 0, then run the explode mechanism. So that way it's not running off of the event tick. But for right now, I'm not going to focus on that. But with the health check, it's going to check, see if we're at 0. If so, set our health to 0, then explode. Then we run to our explode mechanism, which is just, you know, a custom event. Gets a reference to the location of the barrel itself, and then spawns emitter at the location. The emitter, and this one is from the Battle Royale pack, so it's going to cause the explosion to happen. It's going to play a sound, and I need to get some more sounds done. This is just a temporary grenade sound, and I don't like it, so I'm going to replace it. But that's what's going to happen whenever it explodes. It's going to apply radial damage, and the damage causer is self. So applying the radial damage, the base damage is 250, so anything right next to it is just going to die. And the explosion radius is 1,000. I could probably tune that down to maybe 800. And again, I'll come through and I'll tweak these a little bit more later. And then it runs a destroy actor, so it deletes the barrel. It's a really simple system. But what I wanted to work on right now is inside the Battle Royale pack, you have vehiculars. You've got this lovely little Lotta car, and there's two different versions of it. There's one that looks normal with no damage to the paint whatsoever, and then there is, I'm going to close the actual blueprint for just a moment. It has, well, cosmetic damages to it. Doesn't look near as nice. And then you have one that is a static mesh of the destroyed car. So what I'm going to do here is run a combination between the static mesh, the skeletal meshes, and add some lighting and do some fancy stuff to this. And there's more vehicles I can do the same thing to. So what I'll start off with here is I'm going to go back to my gadgets, open up the exploding Lada, and I believe this is actually looks similar to the Russian car. It's called the Lada, Lada, or whatever. So I'm going to go in here and go back to my vehicles, and we're going to start off with the clean, fresh one. And let's go ahead and add component, skeletal mesh, and we're going to call this car. And we need to do this as a SK car, or car skeletal mesh car. And we're going to do the same thing here, but we're not going to get the damaged one yet. We're going to go ahead and we are going to get the damaged one, but we're not going to get the middle one just yet. We're going to grab this and we're going to click off and then add component. Now we have a static mesh component, and that's going to be SM car. But if we look in here at the viewport, well, the static mesh is actually rotated. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rotate it so that it fits in the same category. The second thing I'm going to do with it is I'm going to uncheck visible. So now it's not there. It's there, but it's not there. And the collisions or anything, that's not going to matter because we're always going to have a car here. It's always going to be that shape, right? Right? Awesome. Okay. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go into our event graph, and yeah, we've already cleared it out. We've got nothing in here, and we're going to start off with a health variable. We're going to give it health. We're going to change that to a float. Compile, save, and for right now I'm going to give it a low health number of 100. I would come back in here later and change that to maybe 1,000 health or what have you. But we're going to start off simple with 100 so we can test it, and then we'll juggle the variables to it. So I'm going to come in here and do event any damage, and what this is going to do is it's going to detect damage. We're doing damage with our bullets anyway, so we're doing official damage here. So I want to get a reference to my health, and I'm going to plop that in right here, and what I'm going to do is drag off from my health. I'm going to subtract, so it's going to be float minus float. From the bottom pin, I'm going to drag it up to damage, and now we are going to set our health off of this pin right here and go to there. So that's our event any damage. That's going to tell us to take damage, and we're going to go ahead and run a health check. We're going to do it separately. I'll come back in probably later and streamline things, But let's go ahead and do a custom event of health check. And we're going to go ahead and get another custom event, damaged, and let's do another custom event here, custom event of destroyed. So we're going to have different stages. So what's going to happen is we start shooting the thing, it's going to go from the nice pristine state to the ugly state, and then it's going to explode and it's going to turn into the Rusty Hulk. So we've already set this. We're taking damage. We're going to do health check, and we're going to run over here and run a branch. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a reference to our health. So we're going to ask what? We're going to go to the damage state next. So we're going to do float, and we're going to go ahead and set it to less than, and we want to check to see, and for right now we're going to see if it's probably going to throw some other variables in here just to kind of regulate it, because we want to make sure that we're at certain states here. We want to check to see if it's at 50 health. Now, the reason why I say that we're going to have to juggle things around here is we're asking if it's below a certain point. And that's going to work, and we could probably do this a couple different ways. But if it is, our health is less than 50, we just want to go ahead and test the damage state. Then we're going to go over here and run our damaged custom event. And then we'll come back, we'll refine things, and then we'll go into the destroyed phase. We just want to test it a little bit at a time. So whenever we are damaged, we want to then go to our skeletal mesh for our car, since it has 2 different states, and I want to set skeletal mesh. Now this is probably not going to replicate correctly knowing UE4, so we'll worry about this later and actually come back and replicate it as needed. So what we're going to do here is go back into these. We're going to select the skeletal mesh that's damaged, and I am going to click the arrow here, and now in theory, once we reach this certain point or get our health below 50, it is going to set that state, and we'll figure out some variables for that here in just a minute. So let's go back up to our gadgets folder, and let's go ahead and throw the car into the scene. So there, we've got the car, and will it take damage? Not at this point. So we haven't run anything to say check the health. So for now, again, and I hate doing off the event ticks, and I'll come up with a streamlined system for doing this here in a minute. So health check is now run off of the event tick. Again, I don't want to do it off that. I will streamline that later. We just want to get some functionality going. There we go. I shot it enough to get it up. By the third shot, it turned to this state right here, and we know that now it's been damaged. I need to check the emitter, and whenever I'm actually hitting, I need to make sure that it's getting the proper reverse vector of where the projectile hits, so that the emitter looks just right. But let's try that again here. We'll come in here and play, and we can throw a grenade at it, and the grenade should do the same thing. There we go. Grenade turned it into a crappy looking car. So to get past that point right here, to get into the destroyed phase, we're probably going to need to set up a variable, and we're going to go ahead and call this damaged effect, and change that back to a Boolean. And on damage, let's go ahead and set that variable to true. Steam, you can eat my ass. I don't care. Don't bother me. So there we go. The skeletal mesh is changed once it goes to that damaged state, and we have set that variable, and we should no longer care about our health being below 50. So let's go to the destroyed effect, and let's go ahead and grab that health, and let's go ahead and get a branch. And this may or may not backfire on us, but let's go ahead and grab damaged effect. We want to make sure that we've already passed the damage effect. If so, then let's go ahead and do this as well. We want to get a reference to our health and set it for less than or equal to 0, and run that off of true. So we're checking to see if we already have the damaged effect, and we're going to get our health, check to see if it's below 0 or at or below 0, and if so, here's what we want to do. Is we want to go ahead and get a reference to our skeletal mesh of our car, and we want to destroy that actual thing here, but let's go ahead and destroy actor. Actually, we don't want to really destroy the actor, so for right now, let's go ahead and set visibility to false. So we want to make that body become invisible, and then we want to go ahead and grab our static mesh, grab that in here, and we want to do the same thing of set visibility, and we are going to tell that to be true. So we're going to turn the good car mesh invisible, and we're going to turn the bad car on. So the problem we might run into here is, let's go into our first person, let's throw a grenade, and let's see what happens. Now, I don't have death effects turned on for the player right now because I'm still testing. See, I've already damaged myself right there. See, it's not affecting it anymore because of something that we've done in here in the setup. So it's not doing it. It is turning, but it's not doing what we want. I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of the damaged effect because that's not exactly what I want. That might be hindering what we're doing here. And it are not dying. So we've got this. This is working. And okay, I know why it's not working. Because I are stupid. I blame you guys for letting me do it. Because destroyed is not being run from here on the health check. So what we're going to have to do here is do this as part of the health check here. If it's less than, then we do this. So what I'm going to do here is from the health check, I'm going to run a sequence, and I'm going to move the health check up a little bit. So now I can restructure how this actually works. So we're going to run the branch node here, and damaged, and you, and you. So we're going to grab another reference here, and we are going to see if it is less than or equal to 0. And that's where we're going to run our do the death thing. So we can actually do it two ways. We could actually run it from here or from here, but I'm going to run it from the sequence because I want to run these separately from each other just because I feel like it. So if it is less than 0, then we want to, what do we call that? Destroyed. Right there. So now we have that custom event in play. So now whenever it's doing its health check, it's going to see, well, if we've reached this point, we're less than 50, then we can go ahead and become damaged. If we get less than 0, then we can become destroyed. I'll still probably go back in and reset some variables so that, like right now, if I throw this grenade in there, it didn't blow it up. So let's throw another grenade. Clown, you better move. There you got smart. There we go. And now it's blown up. Oh, poor car. So it's done. So let's try shooting it, and it should be the same thing. There we go. So we can destroy the car, but let's give it some more effects here. And let's go in here on damaged. What particle effects do we have? In the particle effects, we have the explosion. So I know I want to run that for when it's destroyed. And the way I'm going to do that here is I'm just going to grab the destroyed, move it down just a hair, and just kind of rearrange things here just a little bit. I'm going to put it inside here. We're going to spawn emitter at a location. And let's see if we can shoehorn this big son of a gun in there. And I'm just going to move these guys down. And we're still going to need even more room. So let's get a reference to, I guess it doesn't matter which one. And we will get world location. And we're just going to plug that in there. Now here's the thing also is we're spawning this emitter. And let's run that as explosion. We kind of want the car to actually have its own explosion sound. It's kind of superfluous if we throw a grenade at it, but you know what? Let's go ahead and add a sound in anyway. And let's play sound at location. And the sound for right now is just going to be that lame-ass grenade sound. Sorry, I don't have anything better. But it is set up with a sound cue so that it actually doesn't radiate for 20 miles. It'll just stay short. So drag that back in here. It's playing sound. It is doing that. And let's go ahead and put that in here. And lack of a better way of keeping it clean, I'm just going to shove that over there. I don't want to do that, but it works. So now we get the, when we hit get destroyed, we're going to play the emitter for getting destroyed. We're going to go ahead and play the sound and change our visibility and do all that lovely stuff. I would still probably come back in and do another emitter for once we reach a destroyed or damaged state. Maybe it starts smoking. That would be kind of cool too. Huh. That's a problem. Well, it didn't like either one of those two there. So, Why? Because Unreal Engine 4. Well, just for argument's sake, see what happens if we just try the do once and see if that will affect anything. If not, then I'll just delete the crap out of it and worry about it later. Yeah, I know. That's why I hate doing the event tick. So with the health check system needs to be run based off of that. But I keep getting some other issues that were coming up. So, if it doesn't take care of it, I'll quit trying to be fancy and stick to what I was trying to do, which, you know, that works for now. So I'll come back in and remove the health check off the event tick, but it gets the stuff dead. Go ahead, clown. Sit right over there next to those exploding barrels. That's exactly what you need to do. And again, the grenades are not 100%. I don't get Unreal Engine 4 sometimes. 99% of the time, shit works just fine. And now the damage was way off on what it was doing. There. I'll just shoot the barrels and blow everything up. So I like that effect for the car. It's pretty cool. You know, we're looking at all the different ways of actually lighting up the cars and stuff, and doing like the fire trucks and the other things like that. This simple way just works for me, because with this same system right here, we can go in there, set up all the lights, and yeah, I'll come back. I'm not worried about being clean and neat right now because I'm testing things. I'll go through and double check everything. And so with the event tick, I don't want to run the event tick, and I don't want to really run that. But for some reason, whenever I was running off of the event any damage, and I was trying to get all this stuff off of that, it was causing me problems. Like say if I come over here and pull the health check out, and let's break that so we're not doing anything off event tick, and then take our event any damage, run that off of here. Yeah, that would be cool too. Definitely want to do something like that with the motorcycle, because it stands up vertical all the damn time, and it's like you can never knock it over. And what I wanted to do was set it up to where it can stay standing up, and when you do damage to it, it'll just fall over and be in the blown up state. Because it does have a, as far as I remember, vehiculars. Yeah, you do have a destroyed state in a static mesh form, but you can always just set that in the blueprint to be laying down. So you have the destroyed motorcycle, plus you've got, you know, the normal regular motorcycle. Same thing with the boat. It'd be kind of cool if the boat kind of bobbed up in the air whenever you hit it, like a hit reaction, and then it just exploded because you got the regular bike there. But playing around with the lights the other day, I wish. Is there a way to actually create categories in here? So if I come in here and I put in a I go to the viewport. Well, let's get back to this. But see, we're running the health check off event any damage. It's checking our health, setting our health based on our damage, and then it's running that same sequence of everything else. Nothing is run off event tick, and everything should be running through that state there. So now if I come in here and there we go, and yeah, it does work. Okay, so now I can get it off of the event tick, and it's where it should be. I was having problems with it earlier, just not cooperating. But like I was saying about the lighting, is say if I come in here and add a component of a point light or rectangular light, I haven't had any success with on the vehicles yet, or finding a use for them for anything. But just for adding an interior light. And the reason why I was doing it this method of putting them on the outside is because with the raised light systems like that, let's go ahead and change the lighting. And what did I say I liked was 1 and 0.6. Oh no, and 0. Or was it 0.5? Can't remember what the recipe was for the color I liked for the turn signals. I think 0.4. That looks okay. No, throw that up there. Turn off snapping. Because whenever you actually get it close to being in the right location, it does throw a little bit of a shadow. I definitely got to change that, the attenuation radius. Yeah, I need to look into doing that and setting up the emissives that way, because there's some other things like doing Christmas lights. When you're trying to set up a town with Christmas lights and you've got 10,000, you don't want to use 10,000 freaking point lights. You want to set up a string of lights, and the texture on the lighting itself would have to be emissives. I was talking to Skippy about that. So let's turn the intensity down to about 400, and the attenuation can't remember what I had it set for before and was using as a standard for that, because with the lights, that's the other thing, is when we go to our destroyed state, that we definitely don't want the actual lighting to be on. And I don't like that, but it's there. And it would look a lot better as an emissive on it, but I'm not going to take the time to mess with that just yet. There we go. The actual placement, watching the shadow lines when you're actually placing it, comes in handy. But the question I was asking a little while ago is, this is the passenger side front marker light. And then I got another one right there. But as I'm starting to go through here and adding in multiples and so forth, it seems like there should be a folder mechanism that I could create there to rearrange them. Well, I can quit trying to make that close to that one and actually just get the damn coordinates from it. 203.92, 203. Let's see if we can do it at exactly 92. And change that one to 92, but negative 92. Alright, so this would be the driver's side, front ML. Alright, so that's that. And then of course we'll have two more lights here. I'm not really going to get crazy on the lights for right now, because I'm going to have to go through and get them in the right positions and that kind of junk. But this is what we were doing for setting up lighting systems. It's like this one right here. Grab it, Control C, Control V. Then we'll have to do all the turn signals and that kind of stuff too. But we'll just show what I was doing for the lighting, and actually, yeah, I'm not worried about the correctness of them at this point. So that one was 92. This one should be 92. So we know this is the driver's side rear ML, and this would be coming up with a way of organizing these so you don't have a long list that's like 40 deep or whatever. So this passenger side rear ML. But getting the whole basic principle of what we're going to have to do is, when we're in this state, I really need to clean this stuff up. But we'll run a custom, or a custom event marker, lights, and let's actually off for right now. So what we'll do here is just I'll grab all 4 of them and drag out from 1 and set visibility. And just connect those in. So what will happen is when we go to our damaged state, we'll go ahead and turn off our lights. Damaged, it changes the skeletal mesh, and marker, lights off. Like I was doing before, and set it up with the turn signals or whatever else, and those lights are terrible looking. But I'm not going to do the lights. Somebody else can be doing the lights for me. So after we damage it, then the lights go off anyway. So now the question is, do we need to add damage to it whenever it blows up? Would that be cool? Here's your zombie clown. You should have ran. That's right. You move now. So do we want to add like radial damage? Whenever the car goes from the damaged state to destroyed, whenever it actually blows up. Grenades act so weird. I still got to play with the damage ratio and things like that, but that bot just kicked a freaking grenade. So when we do that, we actually explode. I'm thinking we should probably go ahead and do some radial damage. Mild, but just enough to be problematic for anybody standing close by. And we're on our destroyed state here. Let's drag that down, clean it up somewhat. So at this point, we're doing the destroyed, we're playing the explosion, we're doing the grenade cue sound, we're changing our visibility, and everything should be fine. I'm showing everything good on my end. I don't know what happened. Everything was showing fine here on this end. FPS dropped for some reason. I don't know why, but it's lower than normal. Got low CPU usage, but then again, I do have AT&T for internet, so and they suck donkey nuts. Yeah, I've never actually done the radial force, but I've done the radial damage. Let's run a just showcasing a little bit right there. And we only want to damage characters, or do we want to damage everything? But whatever, we'll just do apply radial damage. So it applies in a cone around it instead of just whatever. And damage causer is going to be self. The base damage, we'll keep it kind of mild. We'll put it at 100, but you're not going to be in the center of where it's actually located, because the center is going to be covered by the car. So you're not going to get full damage. You know, we could actually raise that later on too, but just to get it started, let's do 1,000 base damage and a radius of 500. We'll grab the skeletal mesh of the car and we'll set that as the origin. Get world location. So the actual origin of the explosion is right in dead center on the vehicle. So yeah, I mean, shouldn't need to worry about the controller because it's pretty much done by itself. And then we're doing all this. We're running destroyed, and let's run our damage. Too close to naming right there, so we'll apply that with the apply radial damage. Add radial force component. I've never actually done that, so target itself, relative transform. I would assume just getting radiating from there. I don't know. I mean, it's worth giving it a shot, but like I said, I've never messed with it before. It would be nice to add like to the hand grenade and things like that of having radial force. And as I get in here, start messing around with stuff that I want to know, and that's how I learned, is just screwing around with stuff. Well, I definitely did a shitload of damage. See, I'm dead now. So let's try waiting for one of the bots to actually run in front of it. Well, for one, the physics isn't, enabled for the characters when they die. They're just performing an animation. So yeah, at least we got damage. We'll go in here and, like I said, this is something that I'll screw around with later. I don't know much about it. Whatever I don't know, I'll either sit here and I'll screw around with it until I get it right, or I'll just say the hell with it and go watch somebody else's video on it. But let's throw that damage back down to 500, and damage radius, I guess it's okay. We don't actually know what the radius actually is. So that would be that. But with doing the lights, would like to have them in a separate folder. Like I said, I was going to let somebody else do the lighting on these, and the lighting is not really that important on a stationary car, but with it set up to where when it goes to the damage state, the lights go off. So if you don't want to see the lights, you can turn it off. If there's headlights shining, you want to destroy the lights. We'll say we shoot the lights out, and they go out, which sounds like an actual interesting idea there. That's pretty cool. I'll keep messing with the car. But let's go back to our gadgets folder, and now in The Division, if anybody's played Tom Clancy's The Division by Ubisoft, one of the things that kind of annoys me a little bit is you shoot a street light or a big lighting system. It's shooting all this light down on top of you, and it's showing your position and everything else, and you shoot it, and then it kind of goes out. But then like 20 seconds later, it just comes right back on again. So let's create an actor of a stupid lamp. It's just for testing purposes, see if it's something that I like. If it's not something that I like, or if anybody else likes or whatever, then screw it. So let's see here. Is there like a street lamp? I love the barrels. The barrels are fun. Control towers. Radio tower. You would think there would be a big gigantic lamp that's shining down. Let's look in the town pack. I'm pretty sure that there's a let's look at environmental first. Like a street lamp that actually is curved and got a light on the end of it or whatever. I mean, it's not like it's a critical thing here. We can just use a whatever prop. Because we've got lamps and crap like that. But I would like to be able to just take the item and just throw it right into the map and replace existing ones. You and your music. Yes, we'll have some music and some radios and stuff like that too, but that's the thing is with a radio, you set up attenuation and it's playing a little looping sound file that is steady going, and you don't hear it until you get close enough to it. Then you hear it, and then as you're walking away, you don't hear it anymore. So yeah, that's quick and easy to set up. All right, standing lamp, outdoor heater. Well, there's outdoor light. Screw it, I'll just probably end up doing that. But because my dumbass didn't actually open up the gadget, I am not prepared. So open up the gadget. It wasn't in Battle Royale. I'm sure there is one, and I'll find it later and do that. But let's see. Here's a toilet brush. Yeah, that's awesome. That's just a street. Here's a street lamp. That's the one I was looking for. So let's go in here and add component, static mesh. So there. That's that. So I'm assuming that, you know, let's go ahead and add in a point light. And again, I am so totally not worried about being 100% perfect on everything, because this is just a sample. So there, we have a light. It shows light. Attenuation radius might be a little bit weird for right now, but again, grab the street light, and we see it is emitting light. Let's actually put it over here, so when we hit play, we can see it. It's shining light, you know, a directional light, or not a directional light, but a spotlight would work for that as well. But I like this because it shows like all around. For giggles here, let's dump all this stuff out of here, and let's go ahead and give it a health. And let's throw it in here as a float compost and save. And what we'll do here is the same thing. Event any damage, and we can just tie everything off of that. So what we'll do here is get reference to our health, drag off from it, hit the minus, float, connect you, make it pretty. And now let's go ahead and set our health to the value of that. Whatever damage we get, we're going to set our health. And then from there, let's go ahead and see if it is less than or equal to 0. Run a branch. And connect that in here. Let's compost and save, get our health, and we're going to make it 10. Not 110, but just 10. I don't care. We just want the light to be controlled for whenever we shoot the street light. We want it to go out. Can you break it? Well, you know, you can make a destructible mesh out of it, and that's a lot of trouble. But if you do this, this is going to do the same damn thing. We can just say, okay, now if this is the case, if we have destroyed the light, grab the light and set visibility, we don't actually see the light bulb itself. You know, if there's a point to where in some games you want as much physical realism as possible, but when you're in a low poly environment like this, do you really need to create a light bulb so that you can make it break and then create a destructible mesh of the light bulb that goes into a light fixture? That, you know, there's such thing as called too much detail in a low poly game. The whole point of a low poly game is you're not really focused in on, oh, this is a beautiful environment. Oh, look at that tree. Oh, look at that flower. Oh, look at how this action works on this gun. You're in there because you want to kick ass and chew bubble gum and have fun. So you have to weigh in what's the important factor here. If I come over here and shoot the light goes out. But we're shooting the whole entire light, and you know, I don't want to shoot here necessarily and make that light go out, because I want to actually seem like I'm shooting the light bulb. So if any damage is going to apply towards everything. But for now, it'll actually work. Because you've got like a damage type, instigated by, damage causer. You've got all this stuff right here. But instead of actually doing the light as the actual blueprint, what if we actually went into it and grabbed the street light and actually put the light, the pole itself into the map, and you know, it would be so much easier if I just use the damn search block right above here. But I'm too stupid. It would be, I would already be done if I just used that search block. There. So if I actually come over here and just throw the lamp in here, and instead of having this whole mechanism there, let's go in here to the street lamp and let's actually get rid of the street lamp. We want just the light. So when we shoot the light, I mean, is it going to be the same thing there, though? So now if I drag this in here, is the light itself and the default seeking component, is that going to be enough for it to be destroyable? So you see, we got the lamp here. It was still already the same height that we needed because, well, you know, all we did was got rid of the actual static mesh. So that's there. But if we come in here, we can still see it's doing the same thing. It's applying light. And if we come over here and shoot it, we can't actually hit it. So that would be the issue. We would have to have something that's hittable, and since we don't have anything really that's hittable, the point light itself has no collision to it, and that's the point, is we're not actually hitting anything with the actual light itself. So you actually have to have something there that's hittable, and there's ways of shitting that system. You know, you can do something simple and come in here, find something that you can put in place where the light is actually located to simulate, yes, being the light bulb. So it sort of answers your question a little bit, and you know, it accomplishes what you're doing. I could take this cooking pot lid, not cooking pot, but cooking pot lid, and shove that up there so it looks like it's part of the lamp, but it gives me a shootable item that will have collision that will allow me to actually do the damage. So like this is a plate. I'm going to grab this plate and I'm going to go in here to the street lamp and I'm going to add component, static mesh. I'm going to look in here and we're going to actually, you know what, let's grab the point light and let's copy the location. Let's grab the plate and let's paste the location. So now the plate's there. So it's actually an item. Looks like crap. So you'd want to go ahead and rescale it and that kind of stuff too. But let's go ahead and grab our stupid lamp. And move it up. We'll actually move the... And it's a lot easier if we just go ahead and zero this crap out. 0 and 0 and 0. And we'll grab the point light and do the same thing. Now if we look at it, you want the light to be a little bit lower So now compile and save. We go ahead and throw this into the map. Now we have something, a viable image or item that we can actually shoot. But here's the problem though, is this lamp, you're actually gonna need to scale it, and there's no, because this part hangs down lower, it's probably not gonna work. But the whole idea is you'd want to find something that's your actual destroyable portion. So there, you can shoot the light goes out, stays out. Yep, that's, you know, that good idea too, John. Is instead of putting the plate in there, you could sphere collision, because it'll still stick in there and it'll still be there. It'll be a physical object with collision to it. So we just need to go in there and sphere collision. We want to block all, or block all dynamic, create an actual hard crusty shell on the outside that is a shootable portion. And now you don't have the plate hanging there. I like the plate though. What if I wanted a dinner plate hanging there? So that you're just able to shoot the light out. But what if you wanted to do the division? Like, oh, I want the light to respawn. So just screw it. Just run a delay, and we'll put that at 5 seconds. And we'll just grab these two, Control C, Control V, and do that. And just turn the damn light back on. I hated that feature in the Division. It's like, I shot that lamp out. Why the hell is it still on? It's giving away my position. So your lights out, you crawl around, you get by, and all of a sudden, blick, lights back on again. Like, you bastard, I shot you. You're supposed to be out. So, yeah. Everything, once I start going through and testing things and getting everything the way that I want it to, I will verify what is replicated, what's not replicated, and see what needs to be fixed. But if you must see, I don't have everything set up replicated yet, because I am enjoying myself making these little side features and stuff like that. This is not a major project for anything. I'm just doing something stupid and having fun. You know, it's one of those things that I don't really have any games right now that are worth a crap that I actually want to play. So none of the games that are out there on the market can hold my attention right now. So I get in here and I screw around. I make features and functions and test junk. So here, server, to show you that no, shooting is not replicated. Doesn't matter, because I don't want the player to die anyway. I come over here and destroy the car. Yes, I saw the NPC fall over, die, and respawn as the client. But if you look, the client doesn't see the car blown up, so that needs to be replicated. Whereas the death of the bot here, what if as the client, I shoot the barrels? The shooting is not going to replicate, because it's not. So I'll have to fix that. So I'll come back over here as a server, and I will blow up the barrel. Player's not going to die because I don't have health set on it. But you look at the client's health. The client's health is 0. They would have actually died. So the movement and all, that's fine. If I shoot the target, and the server can do whatever they want, they can kill everything. But see, I just killed the this guy. So if I kill the clown, or if I kill this guy, the client can see it. But as you can see, the client still sees those exploding barrels, and he can't do squat about it. So there are things, and this is what I do to come over here and test. It's like the server, now can see that Skippy's standing by the car. Whenever I kill him, he falls over. That works. You know, I'll go through and fix some of the things that don't work. You know, just... Oh, well, yeah, you took damage from the car exploding, but I don't know. How did I end up killing both of them? Yeah, I mean, I'll do that. I mean, I'm making the things work first, and I'm having fun. I'm used to playing with myself. I mean, by myself anyway, so, you know. I'll go through, and I'll test it this way, and I'll see what needs to be tweaked and torqued and handled and so forth. I didn't check the light, so let's answer your question about that street light, and let's play and get us some fresh pie. And again, yes, I know I can resize these windows, but the only reason this is a problem is because I'm streaming. Normally they're on different monitors, so I don't have that problem. So let's go over here. The client itself. Here I am as the client. You can shoot that light all day long and it doesn't do diddly squat. Server. I can come over here and shoot the light. Server doesn't see it. You don't want to see my fat ass do some torquing? So yeah, when I go through the troubleshoot, and whenever I want to stop playing with myself and by myself, and I want to include friends with me, then, gee, that's why everything was getting shitty. GeForce Game Ready Driver is available. It means it decided they want to download a frickin' driver while I'm streaming. So yeah, the server shouldn't have any problem with everything working perfectly for it. And I'll just go through and find things like, okay, we see the light doesn't work for the client. So that will be something that I'd come back in here and replicate. The shooting mechanism, I knew it wasn't set up for replication. But that's not even the permanent crosshair. Well, if, you know, my viewers would actually start tipping more often, then I'd have more money to hire people to do replication on everything. But DM me a price, and if these poor bastards want to, like, chip in some money. Yeah, did you catch my videos yesterday about the cell phone fiasco I'm going through right now? I ordered a cell phone on the telephone, and yeah, these poor bastards in whatever country they're in, damn sure not Americans, from Straight Talk, they decided that their computer was shit and was acting up. And next thing you know, they're trying to get the order to work, and yeah, they put the order through 3 times, and billed me all 3 times. So I've paid for 3 new Samsung phones, and yeah, I only want one, and the price was different each time. So their computer system was so screwed up that one phone was this price, another phone was that price, and then 2 different prices between 3 different orders. And then to make it even better, they tell me that they can't cancel the order that they just applied. Okay? And then on top of that, dumbass is trying to get my order right one time. I had to give them the information a dozen times, and they still managed to put the wrong fucking state in. So now one of the phones is on its way to Kentucky. That I've already paid for this phone. It's going to Kentucky. I live in South Carolina. So somebody, if they're a nice person, they will, oh, this is not me. Sorry, I'm going to refuse this package. Then I will be able to get a refund for it. If they said, oh, gee, thanks, here's my package. Oh, I'll sign for the package. And then they decide they're going to open up the package and like, holy shit, I got me a new phone. Who sent me a new phone? And then they realize, oh, it wasn't meant for me, but screw it. It's paid for. I got me a damn new Samsung phone. So, there, I'm shit out of one phone that I should be able to get a refund on, because I shouldn't have to need a refund, because, you know, I thought I was dealing with an American company. God forbid. So yes, I got 3 phones instead of 1 on the way, and one of them's going to the wrong state, and I don't want but 1 phone to begin with. That's all I ordered was 1 phone. They screwed up, but they can't cancel the order. They have no way of canceling the order. The only way that I can get refund for the extra phones is by refusing them when they finally ever make it to my location. So yeah, right now I am negative money because, you know, that shit went through, and just had to put a battery in the car and wiper blades, and yeah, just the coffers are empty at this point. But if my viewers would like to chip in and donate so I can hire Senior John here to handle the replication, which I can do, and just takes me a little bit longer, but that will be lovely. I'll go through and I'll make all these damn things work. Then let John suffer through. I mean, have the pleasure of going through and making them all work. And replication. Maybe I could do it. It just, with dyslexia and multiplayer replication, no bueno. It's absolutely an adventure whenever you have dyslexia and you're trying to do multiplayer replication. It's like, is the client supposed to go here, or is it server, the client, or a client? Then I actually have to open up an example of something that I've already replicated, and not something else that somebody else has replicated. I can't understand other people's shit half the damn time. But if I make it, and I can see that I know that I made it, and it can refresh my brain because I'm 50 years old, then I can say, okay, yeah, that's how I'm supposed to do that. And then I can figure it out and that kind of stuff. So with our Lotta, let's go ahead and save our map here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into what I told Skippy to never do. And let's go into the Battle Royale map. And since I'm not really going to use this map at all anyway, I can go in here. And this is the normal Lotta. So if I go here and I play from here and I shoot this one, it's nothing. But I've already replaced those barrels. I went through the entire map, and anywhere where there's those barrels, I went ahead and changed them out for the exploding barrels, and I started adding in some little bonus targets like the exploding propane tanks. Got all those done. So what I can do here is actually take this car, and I'm going to go back to my gadgets folder, and I'm going to delete that car. No, I want to delete that car and drop this one in to replace it. It's right here next to that oil drum, so when that blows up, it's going to destroy that car. I'm just going to delete that one completely. Actually, no, I don't want to delete that one. We'll leave that one the way it is. It's already been blown up. And then just for giggles, we'll throw another one of these Lottas in here. I could probably go in here and do the same thing. It'll work the same for the tanks. So as you're rumbling around through your tank, and all of a sudden you get blown up, your skeletal mesh turns into a static mesh, and you get ejected out or just killed, and your tank becomes this burned wreck, or the armored car, or you can take your buggy and make it the destroyed buggy. The airplane, you can turn it into multiple chunks of airplane, and yeah, I mean, it's so many things you can do here. And just for giggles, I'm going to throw one more car right here, just so we have at least 2 in the map. And yeah, that's good enough. So if we hit play and walk around the map, I still haven't done anything with the character, like the body armor system, the weapons, and things like that. I don't even have death animations and death systems set up for the player, because I don't want the player to die right now while I'm trying to get shit to work. So, like over here, you got a whole mess of damn stuff. This was already in here in the demonstration map. I just replaced them with the exploding versions. So they there's 2 more barrels over here. And you run around. I'll still do the targets. I haven't done them yet. I got to fix these doors, and it's the capsule collision for the player is oversized. I need to fix that so the player can actually utilize those doors. Now I'll fix the jump system in here so you're not jumping as high. And you got so many different little things I need to do, but I'm just doing this a little bit at a time, having fun. So I'll get Senior Skippy to work on these the car's lights. There, I blew up the tank of the drum, and it caused the car to explode. But if you're running around shooting here and having a good time, and then someone's hiding behind a car, and you're the guy hiding behind that car, you just saw it turn to that, like, oh shit, and then boom, there you go. The lights are actually relaxing and kind of fun to do. It's not always practical to have. Oh, there's another one right there we can change out. Let's change this car. Let's put that one in its place. When you take the time and actually do the lights correctly, they look natural and they look pretty good. That one looks kind of like crap. I don't have the fire trucks and the other trucks in this one right now. But I have added in another asset pack that I'm going to be utilizing stuff out of, and it is Sydney Studios as well, and it's the nature pack. This isn't the map that I'm going to be using. I may end up using it temporarily as well. Well, I'm using it temporarily right now, but the trees, they're low poly trees. Okay, I get that. They work. They work for what's in here in this particular pack, but I has better. And there's Sydney Studios trees. So if I wanted to improve the look of the map, instead of these trees, I have options. And that's pretty much the same style of tree. But let's go ahead and throw that one in there. Got to compile shaders, but these trees actually have movement. Versus these trees, which are just static, and they get the job done. They look nice. They look good enough for what you're using them for, but those 2 trees look a hell of a lot better than the other 2 that were in there. And I wouldn't want to populate the entire map with too much stuff going on, but like this right here, this little spiky grass patch, that's not bad. But let's see here. Plants. Got a buttload of plants. So let's grab this guy, throw him away. And let's see, if you want to throw in a patch of grass, why not have a little patch of grass that actually moves? If you're going to put it near the water where there might be wind blowing, then it's a little bit more appealing than having a static one. So run over, I guess I could have done the play from here, but like these, you don't really care about those not moving, because if you're over here, you're shooting, you're in combat, and you're having a good old time. You're not, oh my god, oh look, that plane looks good, oh man. No, you're worried about shooting shit and making things blow up and having a good old time. So even though I'm probably one of the worst freaking map makers out there, one thing I do know for setting up a map, you have to know when and where you need to put your pretty shit. So you see, that's the new grass. They're a different color, but see, it's moving. And that was moving. Those trees move. If you're out here and you're doing your thing, you might notice, if you look at the shadow, the tree is actually moving, and you're like, oh shit, that's cool. But then while you're like, ooh, pretty, somebody might be trying to snipe your ass. And that might have been you up there, trying to snipe, and you look over and see, ooh, pretty tree, and you just got your ass blown up. So know where to put your pretty stuff to where they're going to have the most impact. You know, if you're out here and say this is the combat area, And there's constantly stuff going on. People shooting left and right, grenades going off, grenade launchers being fired, and machine gun fire and all that stuff. Well, you're not going to be paying attention as much to the pretty stuff. You're going to be thinking about, where can I go next so I don't get my ass shot, so I can troll Skippy by throwing grenades at him. Or whatever, you know? You got to think about that. And get into your map. Walk around. By yourself. Play with yourself. I mean, play by yourself and just walk around your map. Or maybe, you know, play with your friends and set up a no shooting scenario. And, like, okay, we're just going to play. We're not going to shoot. Well, here's something. Well, the ladder doesn't work. Okay. So that's a feature we need to work on, is building a ladder system. If I go into a building, well, there's no furniture in here. So, okay, we need to put maybe some furniture in. Or this door doesn't work. Or, there's a collision issue. If I try to jump here, this happens. And test things out and have some fun with it, you know? It is a game. Small. For a shooter game, if you have a DayZ-sized map, this big, huge, freaking expansive map, you may be able to play for hours on end and never see another player. A map this size right here, this little tiny island, yeah, it's not going to take you long to get into a firefight. And that's how you have to decide on your game size, your map size, is what kind of game you're building. Do you want to have fast, furious combat and have fun, deal with a respawn system or a medic system, and just fast-paced action? Or do you want slow, casual gameplay where, okay, I can go over here, go into prone position, lay down and cover this roadway right here? And the speed of the gameplay dictates. It depends. I don't think for a small, if I've set myself in the same thing, you have to decide what kind of game you're building. If this is a fun shooter and just a little shooter demo or shooter game where I want to go in here and I want to throw grenades and I want to blow up barrels and I want to shoot at people and I want zombies roaming around and I want to have some fun. So yeah, while I'm sitting here talking about shooting stuff, let's actually put some shootable characters in here. So think about what you're building. I mean, if you're building a haunted house, you don't need a 5 million square mile map. That you just need the haunted area. If you're building a fast-paced shooter, then you want a smaller map. If you want a tactical shooter where people have to work as a squad to assault an objective and take control of areas, and then you want a bigger map. You judge your map size based on what you're trying to do. Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed, I've got 3 and I've got Odyssey. The only 2 that I've ever played, but in any game that you're playing, the slower the gameplay, the better your details need to be. I couldn't tell you how many hours of fun local friends and I from school and whatnot have had playing games like Duke Nukem 3D. There's not a hell of a lot of detail in Duke Nukem 3D. But damn if it wasn't fun as hell. We had a lot of fun playing Duke Nukem 3D. We didn't care that things weren't 100% accurate and, well, that gun doesn't look right, or, that building doesn't look right, or that car doesn't look right. Who cares? We're spending so much time shooting rockets at each other's ass and throwing things and, just having a ball, having fun, that we didn't give a shit that the details weren't perfect. It was all about fun. This is good enough. Let's hit P. And that's not good enough. But you take a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Holy shit, that's a big map. there's lots of stuff that you could potentially be doing. And okay, that's good enough for now. Yeah, you can put lipstick on a pig and it's still a damn pig. But, and I've seen some games that looked nice but had really shit mechanics. So, you know, get your mechanics right and then base your prettiness level on the speed of your gameplay as well. Yeah, see, and every kind of gamer is different. I couldn't tell you how many hours I spent in World of Warcraft going fishing. You know, it's and that's why I say base the prettiness level of your game on how fast the action is. This map right here, if this was the map that I built for a level, and I wanted fast action, then this is perfect. There's enough places where you can sit there and hide and camp, or, you know, places where you can run and go and get health pickups and grenades and whatever. So there's enough to where you can have pretty quick action. A map 1/4 this size is going to be even faster. You're going to be right on top of each other. So therefore you need to have a respawn system and grenades blowing up and shit happening fast. And the faster the map, the less the detail you can put in. Because if you have time to sit back and smell the roses and look at the water or check out a sunset, then there's not currently somebody trying to shove a rocket up your ass. So you get what I'm saying is it's all based off of the speed of gameplay on how pretty your map should look and how pretty your assets should look. Where the hell's my characters? Let's put Skippy on the map, and gonna throw a couple of these NPC bases and a couple zombie clowns and what have you, just so I got something to shoot at. But I'll fix the targets in the shooting range; they'll be shootable. I'll have the other things to blow up and interact with. It's like, Skippy, I can shoot your ass right there. Then come right over and shoot you in the crotch. So now, as I'm running around testing things, if I get the moment where I just want to take a break and say, you know what, screw this, I want to shoot at something and have a little fun while I'm doing it. What was it? It was a game that I was looking at that where there was a camping. There was a mechanism put in place that whenever you sit in one area, you're a camper. You're camping an area and sniping or whatever. What'll happen is if you don't move from within a certain radius of where you are, you're camping. You're camping a zone. What'll happen is it detects that you weren't moving from that location, and it started applying damage to you. It was the anti-camper game mode that was applied into a game. So you start taking damage if you don't actually move out of that radius. So my thought was, as an anti-camper, your characters actually get up, walk over, throw up a hammock, or roll out a sleeping bag and a campfire or a tent or something like that, and you no longer have control of your character. He just walks over here, lays out a mat, lays down, takes a nap. You got a campfire going, so smoke is spewing up. So now everybody can see where you're camping. So, are you in range? Yep, you are in range. How about that? I don't remember how long I had the range set up on the rifle or the shooting mechanisms. I know that's not in range like that, so I can't sit back and snipe all the way. Each different weapon would have its own range limitations. You know, all these different cars should be destructible to a certain point. Run, Skippy, run! Oh, you didn't make it. Skippy dead. pull that jumping flying ninja kill there. So yeah, I mean, something like this right here for smaller maps, faster paced action, getting out there, having a good time. You know you're going to respawn anyway. And like with the first person template that I was working with, where there was a score system, I'll set up probably a scoring system in here as well. I've already added the variable into the player. Now, my street lamp that I just did earlier, you got all these lamps up here. I could do that particular one as a single lamp, but I could do a quad, have 4 different lights here, and then 1 collision box, and where all 4 lights are on. They could be shining light over here, and if you want to sneak from here or there, you need to take out the light, so you shoot the light post so the lights go out. Well, that's one of those things that you can do in here that and especially like the town map or whatever else, or you get a map this size and you do things like the lighting thing, where if you don't want someone to see you, then you can always come in here and you can change that to like 30 seconds for your respawn time for your light. But you know, things like that. And the target dummy, I don't actually have it set up to animate. I guess I could do this and fix the target dummy. Since I did the walking ones, they are actually animated. I'll check event tick. I should just merge these together here. Actually, where's my... There it is. And I can sit here and go through and start changing these things around again. And just delete that. Because I didn't have the death animations configured yet to actually work whenever you know, shoot somebody and they die, and then the animation. I just didn't have it rigged yet, so that's why I didn't add this into the target dummy, which is just a stationary. It's not even a. I don't even know if it'll work correctly anyway, but and it won't. Let's actually undo everything here. I need to come back to this one. And end up needing to delete this guy because it's just the static target dummy. It doesn't actually move. The actual ones that walk around and move are these guys. And I could just take this and make a child blueprint class and zombie underscore whatever. I don't know which zombie are we going to do here, because it is nice that the zombie pack finally came out on UE4. Got all these freaking zombies to work with here. Let's do a zombie. The clown's got yellow, so I want to have some contrast as we're running around. Absolutely got to do this one. A freaking hot dog. It's got to happen. I don't care the color combination. Let's do this. F2 hot dog. Because this has already got inside there for the Wanderer stuff. And no, that is not what I'm trying to do. This one. Hot dog. I gotta have a zombie hot dog. It's like the thing. Oh my god, his mustard's hanging out. I mean, never mind. Compost, save, event graph. And since this is actually a child actor blueprint, I don't have to do scawaddle doodle do there. I can just start throwing some hot dogs in the map. And now I have wandering hot dogs and clowns. And yeah, something to shoot at while I'm fiddle farting around. Is a renegade rogue hot dog. Killed me a hot dog. Ah, come back, you son of a bitch. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna have to go through and actually do a real zombie. And God, I hate messing with AI behaviors. I'm slow as it is with replication, and I can get the replication done. It just takes me longer because of dyslexia and all that crap. So whenever I go into an AI behavior tree, it's just like brain dead. So then at some point I'm going to have to make AI that actually does a melee attack, because zombies need to eat, right? So it's a good start, just kind of screwing around. I will actually probably tweak a few more things, like the targets. I need to go ahead and just break down in these targets right here, and just go ahead and do a new blueprint. Actor, big underscore target. Don't care. I'll change names of everything later. I'll do things just for goofing around. Then I come back and I'll refine them and streamline them, like coming back in and getting rid of the event ticks. That's just something I get in there, get it working, and then I start refining things to get rid of things that are gonna bog the system down and screw up somebody's potato later. So Battle Royale, props, and I need the target. Yeah, I looked all around trying to find this friggin' exploding barrel. I'm scrolling all through the damn thing, and then I did pay attention. It was on the very top row. Target, add component, lovely. And all I'm going to do with that is stimulate physics, give it some mass, 100, and now, yeah, it's time for me to take a break and walk away for a little bit, but let's verify that you work. Well, you definitely fall over, that's for sure, because the terrain is not flat there. And this is one of those moments in time where I'm focused in on the next Marlboro instead of actually what I'm actually doing here. So yeah, I got to change that particle effect on the impact. See, it's displaying sideways. It's not displaying in the correct transform that I want it to. So yeah, that's... I need to fix that. So yeah, I'll go back through and I'll set these targets up to where whenever you hit them, they fall over, that kind of stuff. I'll take a break from streaming for a little while, and I'll probably get back to it here a little bit later as I get some more stuff working. If I come up with some other bright, cool, fun ideas, then I'll pick up a stream. And if you guys got any ideas for what I can add to this, not necessarily for this map here, but for right now, I'm going to use this map, and I'm going to use the town map as my test beds for what I'm going to do. And then after I get enough of the features working correctly and replicating correctly, then I will go ahead and release a version of this. And then actually start working on a map. Actually, once I get the mechanics working the way that I want them to, is I will go back and I will make sure everything's replicated, and then we'll worry about a map. So functionality first, and in the meantime I could use these maps as my test beds, and my test map for sure for testing individual components and replication, so I don't load the whole map in. But what I'll do is I will make sure these targets work. I have the two different style targets from the other project, where one actually was on a physics constraint, so whenever you shoot it, it just kind of wiggles and just moves, but always springs back up to the correct location again. And then the other type is when you shoot it, it just falls over. So what I'll probably end up doing is just recreating both of those, and that way you've got the option to do both. But I don't know. We'll see. Alright guys, I'm going to take a break for a little bit, and we will see you guys soon.